briefed at nah, sugar. Okay, looks like we fell off the air, but just going to keep going. This is really good cable. Lots of kind of head slap stuff going on. Opium cultivation trends in Afghanistan were reported positive overall and showcased a major decline in opium cultivation in Afghanistan by 22% in 2009, the lowest in 15 years. Costa described Afghanistan as having a southern opium problem, not an Afghanistan opium problem. The report found that nearly 99% of all opium production took place in the south. All other provinces in Afghanistan produced only 1% of the country's total opium in 2009. The UK and US support to Helmand Governor Mangal's three-pronged food zone project was illustrated as a successful initiative promoting illicit farming in the south. Costa said that the World Food Program should buy wheat at the higher price in Afghanistan instead of Pakistan, as it would have a greater positive impact on the Afghan economy. Eradication mechanisms were reported to have minimal effects and accounted for only 3 to 4% in cutting opium cultivation. In a September 18th briefing at NATO headquarters, UNODC, still can't connect to Ustream. Executive Director Costa said development was the driving factor to reduce opium cultivation. When pressed by Italy, the Netherlands, and Russia on what more ISAF could do to aid Afghanistan in trying to control the drug problem, Costa responded that development was key. Big surprise. People need jobs. Of course, it's ridiculous to try and prevent people from getting or producing something that they want to have or produce. It's wrong. It's morally wrong to get in people's way that way, and it's simply stupid. Costa said that ISAF counter-narcotics operations did play a role and were a reinforcing trend, but not as strong as the severity of the insurgency and its coercing effects on farmers to grow illicit crops. The economic situation was reported as the most important driving factor when farmers considered if they would grow poppy. They need the money. They need to live. It's the same story in Colombia with coca, and, it's not surprising that they're doing it for the money in Afghanistan either. The Netherlands asked if poverty was the driving factor, and Costa said no, even though Afghanistan is one of the most impoverished countries in the world. That I find kind of hard to believe. Law enforcement and military strikes having an impact. Okay, so putting people in jail, taking away their assets, and destroying their fields and homes. That's stopping people from producing it. Big surprise there, sadly. Opium stocks remain high. Costa said that Afghanistan has 12,400 tons of opium stocks because it produces more than the world consumes. Costa believes the insurgency is withholding these stocks from the market and treating them like savings accounts. He said the stocks pose a serious threat as it could be used to finance the insurgency. They can produce it way faster than you guys can destroy it. Enough. Costa encouraged the World Food Program to buy wheat in Afghanistan instead of Pakistan. He said the WFP had a policy to buy food for all humanitarian donations at the lowest price and understood that the total cost to buy wheat in Pakistan and transport it to Afghanistan was 14% lower than the cost of only buying wheat in Afghanistan. So they're going to spend more money. I doubt that the World Food Program is rolling in money. And Costa acknowledged that the quality of wheat in Afghanistan was low as a result of disease, high humidity, and pest contamination in low-quality storage facilities. But he still wants the World Bank to actively engage in increasing Afghanistan's wheat quality and, of course, to buy the wheat there. How that's really going to work. Are people going to be able to eat all this crappy wheat? And for a higher price, it doesn't seem to really make any sense. Development key, not eradication. Big surprise. People need jobs. People need to work. People need to eat. And they're going to do whatever it takes to keep their families fed. There are some more interesting things here. Let's see. But that's it for that one. And again, that is 09 US NATO 397. Still trying to get Ustream to work. 09 Madrid 593 is our next cable, titled, it's from 2009. The title is New Culture Minister on Fight Against Internet. So more U.S. pressure to get Spain to crack down on so-called internet piracy. Copying is not theft. So just chill out, guys. Not to mention the inappropriateness of the government going to bat for corporations, and what's more, not even in the jurisdiction that the government here claims for itself. Summary and action requests. New Culture Minister González Cinde, a committed opponent of internet piracy, updated the charge on the status of negotiations between content providers and ISPs. She welcomed a shift in approach by content providers that would have the government of Spain seek legal challenges, allowing it to block offending web pages. After several months, participants could review the results to see whether other actions, for example, action against individual users, was needed. The minister reacted enthusiastically to our offer of expert engagement, saying it would be valuable for government of Spain officials to hear what has worked and what has not worked to reduce illicit downloads. I don't think anything has really worked, except I believe iTunes has removed all DRM, and it's another case of trying to put the genie back in the bottle, and it's simply ridiculous. If there's a need by a corporation to lock down copying of its product, it needs to make an agreement with its users, an informed agreement, a contract, to get what they need, and then they can, if people violate it, they can pursue restitution. But this is just ridiculous. They're killing their own market, and the government is, harming people. It's simply not its place. And the minister said it would be ideal if content providers and ISPs could reach agreements on measures to fight piracy, as has happened in the U.S., but the ISPs, led by Telefonica, did not seem to want to do so. Big surprise. Just hurts their customers, I'm glad to hear they're going to bat for them. Let's see. There's a mention of a group called Internautas, a pro-piracy association she's received criticism of, and they say that she has experienced a conflict of interest because as head of the Spanish Film Academy, she had spoken out strongly against internet piracy. So even in Spain, we see, people with conflicts of interest, the Academy of Film trying to protect their intellectual property, but using the government to do it instead of just locking people down with contracts and going after them for restitution as needed, if that is even really needed. Ustream still not working. 08 Minsk 85 is the next cable. Lost our lease, real estate as a means of regime pressure on Belarus opposition. This is from 2008. And it documents a case of something that, in the Wiki Rebels documentary about Julian Assange and WikiLeaks, one particularly dastardly individual suggested should be done to the WikiLeaks people, which is to put pressure on landlords to raise rent on opposition organizations, to basically hamstring them, take their office space away so they can't continue to function. Representatives of the independent media, civil society, and political opposition in Belarus report increasing pressure, Belarus is in Europe, by the way, from landlords, including astronomical rent increases or termination of leases. The increasing use of this old tactic, often indirect and sometimes buttressed with arguments about market prices for real estate, presents both a logistical and legal threat to the continued functioning of opposition, organizations, which need a legal address to stay in operation. Not only does this, present them with a problem for moving and losing their office space, but if they're able to get new office space, they have to change address with the Belarusian state, and for political parties, that could mean loss of their ability to get on the ballot. So this is really quite serious, and the embassy there in Minsk is quite upset about it. Yet, that we have government officials in the U.S. commenting on the WikiRebels documentary, suggesting the same kind of tactic be used against WikiLeaks. A couple other cables here. There's a crisis in air traffic control in Brazil that's extremely serious. Government control of the airports and whatnot. 06 Brasilia 2521. 07 Minsk 125, the Goodfellas and Lukashenko Circle. We're running out of time, so I won't cover those. Here we have a couple articles from Huffington Post. WikiLeaks founder, we have enough information to make an exec at a major bank resign. Well, that's a little bit of a dial down from his earlier claim that he could take a bank down. And we have an article from Forbes saying, reporting that WikiLeaks has been great for Bank of America, which is the suspected target bank, that the share prices for Bank of America have gone up since Assange mentioned the possibility that his leaks could take down Bank of America. It's kind of curious. And basically the author, Hala Toryalai, doesn't think that WikiLeaks can follow up on its threat. So that was our show for today. Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully our Ustream problems will be fixed by tomorrow, or we'll just use somebody else. Thanks again for watching. We're here every Monday through Friday, 12:05 p.m. Eastern Time, reporting on the leaks, be they mundane or revolutionary. Have a great day, and see you tomorrow again, same time.